Hello again. Uh, well, I say again as if you've watched my other video or videos, whichever the case may be. And you might have, but uh, maybe not. So, my name's Dan, if you didn't know. Uh, I go by Dragonfly 9078 on Dueling Network. And this is it's going to be a deck profile of an archetype that I really enjoy playing. Um, I don't know if anybody else does, but I certainly enjoy them. They're the noble knight archetype. Um, I I like him. Like I said, I think one of the reasons I like him is I'm a fan of mythology, and the noble knights are based in Arthurian legend, King Arthur, Knights of the Round Table, etc. Um, lot of lot of normal monster support, lot of equip card support, um, a lot of warrior support. They're all warrior monsters. If you didn't watch my other video, then my introduction video, then you probably don't know. I don't really, I'm not especially competitive, so I don't use a lot of cards that some people might consider staples. That's why there's no Mystical Space Typhoon. Um, Cards like that, no Monster Reborn. I do have a Call of the Haunted, and a Warrior Returning Alive. So I do use some staples: Warrior Returning Alive, Reinforcement of the Army, Mirror Force, etc., whatever. But yeah, so this is the deck. So like I said, a lot of normal monsters. Noble Knight Artorigus is just a strong beater. It's a warrior, 1800 and 1800 normal monster. It's a pretty basic monster. It's a strong monster. Uh, I believe he is actually supposed to be King Arthur in the archetype. Um, Toon Warrior, uh, I yeah, is another normal monster. Level 3, it's a 1600 and 200, but he's a tuner. Um, for my handful of synchros down there. Um, a couple Gemini monsters. Neos Alias, 1900, 1300 beater. Um, I generally keep him as a normal monster because wasting a summon on him just to uh, have him be just to change his name doesn't really help in this deck because he's the only hero card that I'm using. I'm not using any Neos support, although Neos Knight might be good. Maybe I'll consider putting that in. Um, uh, Evocator Chevalier is Gemini 1900 900. Um, and I also treat it as a normal monster. He's a Gemini monster, and his effect can actually be really good because you send an equip card you control to the graveyard to kill one of their cards. Monster, spell, trap, face up, face down, doesn't matter. You just kill one of their cards, which is really useful. And there's a lot of equip support and equip cards in this deck. The second of our noble knights is the Ig Noble Knight of Black Lonzalin. It's the only naturally dark type or dark attribute monster. All the rest are light. Um, it's also the only one that's higher than level 4, or the only one that isn't level 4. And he's a 2,800 or 2,000 attack, 800 defense, not 2,800 attack. 5 stars, Dark Warrior. He can summon himself from your hand or from the graveyard by sending a face-up normal light monster you control to the graveyard. So that could be Artorigus, that could be Alias, if you didn't resummon him. That could be Medraut, who we're going to get to in a minute. So that's really good. And then he can tribute any Noble Knight monster that you control to get a Noble Arms spell card from your deck. That's their support archetype down here. It's a series of equipped spell cards. So you can grab one of those from your deck, which can be really good. You can only have one of them on the field, though, at a time. So that kind of limits his usefulness. But I do think he's a pretty good card. And I believe, not totally sure, but I think he is supposed to be Lancelot. Not sure where the ignoble bit comes in, but I think he's supposed to be Lancelot. Don't like take me as total fact on that, but yeah. Noble Knight Gawain is, I assume, Gawain. Strong monster, 1900. His defenses are a bit weaker at 500, but he can special summon himself from your hand if you have a light normal monster, similar to Lunzalin, except you don't have to get rid of the normal monster. He does summon in defense mode if you special summon him like that, but his defense is so low anyway that you don't want to use him as a wall unless you like absolutely have to, or if you're I guess, I don't know, using one of the equipped spells and you don't want to take damage if they attack you. But no, mostly if I'm special summoning, I'm usually using him for either an XYZ summon or a synchro summon. And yes, I know it's pronounced Exceed or something like that, but XYZ is what it looks like. That's what I'm going to go with. So XYZ summon. Other than that, I just would normal summon him. He's pretty strong, 1900. Noble Knight Medraut, who I'm not totally sure, but maybe based on Mordred. He's relatively new. He just came out on Duel Links Network within the past week or so. I don't know the exact day. He has kind of an interesting effect because he's kind of like a Gemini monster, but not quite because he isn't a Gemini monster. When he's just face up on the field, normally he is a normal monster. He's counted as a normal monster, so he qualifies for all the normal support. When he's equipped with one of these three spell cards, one of the Noble Arms spell cards, he becomes an effect monster, and his effect changes him to a dark monster and increases his level by 1, so he becomes a dark 5-star monster like Black Lunzalin. And then his other effect is really good for this deck because this deck is kind of slow. The knights themselves are a bit slow. So what he can do is summon a Noble Knight, which can include Ignoble Knight because Noble Knight is in the name. He summons a Noble Knight from your deck in defense mode, and then destroys one equipped spell that you control. Any Noble Knight except for himself. He cannot summon himself. And you can also only do it if he's the only monster you control. So that does limit it a little bit. If you want to get a wall, then I would suggest going for Arthurian, because the other two so far have the defense of wet tissue paper, but Arthurian is fairly solid at 1800. It does destroy the equip spell, and he will have an equip spell because he needs to have an equip spell to even activate the effect, but that can actually be a benefit when it comes to the Noble Arms, which I'll get to in just a minute. Phoenix Gearfried, powerful Gemini monster, 2800 and 2200. This one's fire, 8 stars, so it has 2 sacrifices. His effect summons Gemini monsters from your grave when your opponent activates a spell, or ditches one of your equip cards to negate a spell or trap card. I honestly don't use him that much. I think the only time I've actually summoned him was when I needed to get rid of a lava golem, so I sacrificed lava golem. And of course, Gearfried was then immediately sacrificed for another lava golem, so, wasted effort a bit. No, normally what I end up using him is with Zubaba General, which is a pretty good card that I will get to. Ritual card, just because, felt like it. Cuculain the Awakened. He does work with the deck. He's a warrior. Works with normal monsters. Ditch a normal monster from your graveyard, banish it, and he gets that normal monster's attack until your next standby phase. So remove Artorigus, he becomes 2300 because he is very weak. He's 500 and 1000. But remove Artorigus, he becomes 23. Remove Toon Warrior, becomes 21. Remove Neosalius, he becomes 24. Those are the only ones that. Oh, no. Remove Chevalier, he becomes, again, 24. Remove Gearfried, he becomes 33. So that can punch a hole in some stuff. Advanced Ritual Art to summon Cuculain. It also fuels his effect because you have to ditch Artorigus. That's actually the only one you can use, or I can use for Advanced Ritual Art, because Cuculain is level 4. So, and Advanced Ritual Art is not like other ritual spell cards in that you actually do have to exactly match them to summon the monster. But it works. Gets a Noble Knight in the graveyard. Fairy of the Spring, get an equip card from your grave, but you can't activate it. It's equip support. Fulfillment of the Contract is premature burial for ritual monsters. Pay 800 life points and I get Cuculain back. But when fulfillment of the contract is destroyed, then Cuculain is banished. Interestingly, and I'm not totally sure about this, so if I'm wrong, please tell me. That applies to everything. If I'm wrong about anything, timing, I don't know, please tell me. But I believe if I have fulfillment of the contract equipped to Cuculain, then I can use Evocator Chevalier to send fulfillment of the contract to the grave to destroy an enemy card with, his effect. But that doesn't actually destroy fulfillment of the contract, so Cuculain is not banished, and in fact has that weakness removed from him. Hidden Armory, more equip support, mill 1 card, add an equip spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Can't normal summon or set, but you can special summon, and there's a lot of special summoning going on in this deck. I get another thing I'm not totally sure of. Gemini summoning, I have no idea if you can or cannot do it while you're under the restriction of Hidden Armory, so I'm going to guess that you can't, just because it does use up your normal summon. Please ignore that Skype message. So, I don't know. The Noble Arms are an interesting set of equip spells. They all share some effects, and they all have one effect of their own and then share the other ones. All 3 of them, you can only control one of them at a time. And by that I mean you can't have 2 copies of one Noble Arms card at the same time. You can have, like, Arfudutir and Caliburn and Gallatin on the field at the same time. You just can't have, say, 2 Caliburns or 2 Arfudutirs, 2 Gallatins. They only equip to warriors, all 3 of them, and whenever one of them is destroyed while they're face up, if they're destroyed and sent to the graveyard, so they do not work with Evocator or Phoenix Gearfried, but they do work with Medrao, which is probably intentional because they work together. When they're destroyed, they can be re-equipped to any Noble Knight card on your side of the field. So you summon Noble Knight, You use his effect to bring out Ignoble Knight, and that destroys your Arfudetir. Um, Actually, yeah, bring out Arfudetir, or bring out Meddrout. Use Arfudetir. Arfudetir can decrease the attack of one of your monsters, of the equipped monster, by 500, and then destroy one face down card your opponent controls. Monster, spell, trap, doesn't matter. Um, and then use his effect to bring out, say, Ignoble Knight, and re-equip this, because it was destroyed, re-equip it to Meddrout, to Meddrout, makes him a level 5 dark monster. Use its effect again, because the thing is reset, because it does say once per turn. And then Meddrout is down to, 700? Doesn't matter, you can just XYZ with Ignoble Knight for, I don't know, Crimson Shadow Armor, or Adri's Keeper of Armageddon. Or summon Gawain and re-equip it, but don't re-equip it to him, re-equip it to Gawain, so that he's a level 4 light monster. And then you can overlay with him for their boss, Artorigus, King of the Noble Knights, or Blade Armor Ninja, Excalibur, Utopia, Zubaba General, etc. It doesn't matter. But so it can be a really good combo. Caliburn is probably my favorite of the three. Boosts their attack by 500, and once per turn you can gain 500 life points. You know, it works. It's simple. It works, and you after a while you can actually rack up some pretty good life point gain with this. That is a once per turn thing. So again, use it with Meddrout, and you get 1,000 life points. Gallatin, along with the other three effects, straight attack boost. Warrior type monster gains 1,000 attack. The downside, of course, it has to have a downside, is that every standby phase, every one of your standby phases, it will decrease that monster's attack by 200. Now, this still means that it's getting a boost until the 5th turn that it's been equipped with it, which is, unlikely to happen. It lasting to a 5th turn, or it still being equipped with the same Gallatin. So yeah, reinforcement of the army, grab a level 4 warrior from your deck, basic. Ritual weapon, works with Cuculain, sends him up to a 2,000 and 2,500, and it's an equipped card. He can get really strong, because that's the weakest he can be using his effect and ritual weapon is 3,600, which is stronger than pretty much most cards. The strongest he can be with that is 4,800. Just with ritual weapon and his effect. So it's a good card. I will admit, I don't get Cuculain out often, but when I do, he works. Solidarity, I realize maybe not a lot of people play this or run this card. I really like it. I don't know why. I just really, really like it. If all I have in my grave is warriors, all my warriors get 800 attack. Simple as that. So 800 boost just for being on the field. That's pretty good. I like it. And whenever I can, I like to run Solidarity. I don't know why. Supervise works with Gemini monsters. Equip it to them. They become effect monsters without the need for a summon. And then when it is sent to the graveyard, you can summon a normal monster. So basically any of this top row plus Phoenix Gearfried. Equip it to Evocator Chevalier. He gets his effect. He can ditch it right away and grab Phoenix Gearfried or something else, and then XYZ into something. Warrior Returning Alive. Grab a warrior monster from your graveyard. Put it in your hand. Call the Haunted. Dark Bribe. Dimensional Prison. Just a break I like using because I do have most of my monsters that are not XYZ or Synchro are normal monsters, or can be normal monsters. So I like using Just a Break. It is unfortunate that it can destroy your monsters if they are not normal or are in defense mode. But if it's, say, Ignoble Knight, then you have a light monster, and odds are or you have a normal monster, and odds are it's light. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it's about a 50-50 chance that it's light. So you can just ditch it to summon Ignoble Knight. Mirror Force, Ultimate Offering, extra deck. Side deck is pretty much just like equip and equip support. Soul Drain, because I really don't like Medolces or Dark Worlds. And I actually do like Mermails, but they are powerful, so I am actually siding against them. Rescue Rabbit, I don't know, I don't really like it that much, but if it can get me 2 Artorigases or 2 Toon Warriors and, save my life, then I'll throw it in, I guess. But all the rest are either equips or equip support or normal support or Gemini support or just general support for stuff that's in here. Nothing specific. Colossal Fighter is a, synchro. It's a warrior synchro. Gains attack and can special summon a warrior from your grave when it dies by battle. Seven Swords Warrior is actually really good for this deck because they really do use equip cards a lot. And he has 2 different equip card effects. He damages the opponent whenever he's equipped, and you can ditch your equip card to destroy one of their face-up monsters, like Evocator Chevalier, except a bit less all-purpose. Adrius, level 5, you can destroy a monster, face-up card, actually. Artorigas, King of the Noble Knights, is brand new, just came out today, the day that I'm recording this video. He requires 2 level 4 Noble Knight cards, 2000, 2000, so kind of middle of the pack. But his effect is really good. He's not really suited for early on in the game, because when he's summoned, you can target up to 3 noble arms that are in your graveyard, as long as they have different names, and then equip them to him. So you can get 1 of each of them. You just can't get more than 1 of them. So you can have all 3, so that puts him up to 3,500, with the ability to drop by 500 to blast one of their face down cards, and the ability to gain 500 life points every turn, and a steadily decreasing attack power. But that's okay, because his other effect can actually mitigate that. Because you can detach one of your Noble Knights from him to destroy spell and trap cards on the field up to the number of noble arms you control. Actually, it doesn't even have to be the ones equipped to him. So you can summon another monster and equip a noble arms to him, and you can still destroy 3 if our target only had 2 or 1. But interestingly, and I just thought about this, you can actually use this to destroy, like if he has all 3, I'm pretty sure you can use it to destroy 2 cards, 2 of the opponent's cards, and Gallatin, and then just use Gallatin's effect to re-equip it to him and stop the effect loss entirely. Or if they don't have any cards, I think you can just destroy all 3 of your cards and reset the attack boost, reset the once per turn life point gain, and reset the once per turn set card destruction. I'm not totally sure about that, but it's an interesting idea. Blade Armor Ninja can attack twice by detaching. Excalibur fits with the theme, Excalibur. That's also why Cuculain is in here. Cuculain was a hero in Celtic myth, and he fit with the deck. Excalibur, Leviair, I think, is just to give Toon Warriors something to do. Leviair and Zen Mines are just for Toon Warrior. if I have two of them, then I can't synchro, and might as well do something with them if I'm about to lose. And it also can grab pretty much anything that Kukulain will banish except for Phoenix Carefree. Crimson Shadow Armor Ninja, only for Ignoble Knight and Drought, because you can't have two Ignoble Knights on the field at the same time. Also actually works with Blade Armor Ninja. Blade Armor Ninja can either have him attack twice or himself, and Crimson Shadow can protect both ninjas. So it works. Utopia. Interesting fact about Utopia that I discovered that I didn't know. So, its blocking thing is really good, attack negating, but there is a downside to it because obviously once it has no cards, once it has no materials and is attacked, it's immediately destroyed. But what a lot of people don't realize, and or at least in my experience, a lot of people don't realize, is that his effect activates as soon as the attack is declared. So since it was his effect that destroyed him, the opponent can actually declare a replay attack. So their monster that attacked it can attack again, because the number of monsters on the battlefield changed. It's like if you attacked and they activated Call of the Haunted. Your target is no longer there, or the target has been forcibly changed. But do note that the monster that attacked, that destroyed it, that caused its effect to destroy it, has to be the next one to attack, or it does not get a replay attack. So, just make note of that. Be careful if you're using Utopia. Zen Mines, you know Zen Mines, I'm sure. Zubaba General is an interesting card too. It's a lot like, or it's somewhat similar to Kukulain. You detach an XYZ material, and then you equip a warrior monster from your hand to it. So, and then it gains all the equipped monsters' attacks. So, usually I end up using it with Phoenix Gearfried. I have two level 4s, so instead of sacrificing them for a 2800 that I might not summon again and get to use his effect, I overlay them and get Zubaba General and use his effect immediately for a 4800 attack power monster. So yeah, that combo has done pretty well for me. Another good combo I like to use, and again, if any of this like misses the timing or anything, please tell me so I can stop using it. Summon Meddrought when I have nothing else on the field. Use Arthurian or Caliburn. Use its effect to destroy one of their cards or get 500 life points, and then use his effect to grab usually Black Lonzalin, and then depending on the situation, I will re-equip the thing to either him if I just want to like go in XYZ, or to him that will let me reuse its effect, obviously. But then I can also use Ignoble Knights to tribute Noble Knight, because Noble Knight or Meddrought will be a light normal monster. So, and actually it doesn't matter because he's always a Noble Knight. So I can use Ignoble Knight to tribute him and grab another Noble Arms. Maybe the other one that I don't have there. So that's about it. This video is getting a bit long, coming up on the half-hour mark. Didn't mean to go that long. Sorry for talking a lot. I tend to ramble, I guess, and have long, awkward pauses. So those are my Noble Knights. I like using them. You might use a totally different build, or not use them at all. It really depends on how you feel. So thanks for watching. See you next time. And again, if you watched my introduction video and for the first time if you did not. Um, if you see me on Dueling Network, if you're dueling, if you see me dueling or you just see me online, uh, PM me, say hi, give me a review in person, a comment. Hey, you could be doing this better, or hey, this was great, or I really like this. I didn't like how you did this, so and so. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when I will most likely be doing another deck profile. Not sure what of yet. Not quite sure. Maybe it'll be. Yeah, okay. I think that'll be it. All right. Thanks very much. See you later.